Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Doja here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And this time on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I wanted to talk about all of the new additions coming to the DLC for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and even some missing characters and transformations that are 100% that have not been revealed yet to us. And this post I'm actually going to be reading off that lists most of the information is from Shinai. He says a full overview of Sparking Zero Super Limit Breaking Neo. I've read the 30 remaining characters and roster slots, confirmed stages and fan demanded stages, accessories overview, because again the accessories tab is going to get updated in Sparking Zero when Super Limit Breaking Neo gets out. I don't think it's going to add all the accessories we've always wanted from the game, but maybe they'll finally add the ability to change key color, hopefully. Costume coverage, future additions, and a full breakdown of the new game modes. A look at what's confirmed and the potential still ahead for Sparking Zero. Now, I'm not going to read off all the roster fan demands because I have my own idea of how they're going to take this, especially with the little they've shown in the Super Limit Breaking Neo trailer. I do think it's not going to be as crazy as a lot of people think it's going to be, but I do think it's at least going to be better than what the game originally had to begin with. And also, look at this nice visual of Ice Shenron. I have my opinions on Ice Shenron, I'll get to that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you guys this cool image that he made of Ice Shenron and all the characters confirmed, the costumes, and some of the new stages. 30 plus new characters confirmed. Now, I do want to remind you guys, it says 30 plus, not 30. That's something very important to keep in mind because, you know, a lot of people actually messed that up. But Sinai goes on to say, but only 27 have been shown so far. A full visual breakdown of OG characters included. Devilman appears in the trailer but isn't reflected in the official character count. So who else is still missing from the roster? And I have my own feelings on this, I'm going to give you guys in a moment, but I do actually want to mention the new characters that have been confirmed, and obviously some ones that could still be added later. And we can see here that we got Base Trunks, Super Trunks, the same with GT Vegeta, Base GT Vegeta, and Super Saiyan GT Vegeta. King Vegeta, Jacko, Zangief, Super Saiyan Bardock, Mighty Mask, and I want to remind you guys, Mighty Mask possibly could still go Super Saiyan because that's the thing he does in the anime, and Mighty Mask is probably taking up a whole new character slot. It'd be really cool to see Goten and Trunks actually have the option to fuse, quote unquote, into Mighty Mask. Maybe they turn into like a 5 or a 6 DP character, or maybe Mighty Mask will take up his own slot and he'll have SSJ on top of that, who knows. But we do have Supreme Kai, we also have Champa, Demon King Piccolo, Nova Shenron, Tao Pai Pai, Tao Pai Pai, and again, he should be able to go Cyborg Tao, but we haven't seen that either in the trailer. Grandpa Gohan, Hellfighter 17, not to be confused with Super 17. Hellfighter 17 needs to be in the game now, so that way both 17s can fuse into Super 17. So that's actually very cool. We're still getting a new fusion character just because they added the whole separate new guy. Chilled, Chilai, Tora, Fasha, General Blue, Salza, Oob, Super 17, Pycon, Nam, and Android 8. Now, before I talk about the OG Dragon Ball characters down here, Devilman is obviously, again, supposed to be a part of this count. He probably just goes in this missing slot here, if we're being honest. I don't know why they didn't include him here, but whatever. There are still very few interesting things I wanted to point out with this, because, again, all of the characters here, I'm not saying all of these characters are from the original Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but it seems like they did do their best to get as many of the original Budokai Tenkaichi 3 characters in this game as possible. Even some of the super less relevant ones, they still found a way to, like, squeeze in here. Like, Salza doesn't really need to be a character, he's just in here because... Wait, Salza wasn't playable in BT3, was he? He was playable in Budokai 3. And with the inclusion of as many original Budokai Tenkaichi 3 characters as possible, that's why I'm saying we'll probably still get characters like Cyborg Tao. And it's why I'm thinking that Ice Shenron might still not make it into the game. Even though he has regained some relevance of games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 adding him, he wasn't in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Now again, he's still a really easy character to add. Literally just reskin Nova Shenron, get a different voice actor, and then just give him ice moves. But he wasn't in the original Budokai Tenkaichi 3, probably because, again, he's just less relevant than Nova, so he might still not make it into Sparking Zero. I would like him to make it into Sparking Zero, but there's a chance that Ice Shenron might not actually come to the game, because it seems like they are doing their best, because, again, we've got characters like Grandpa Gohan in the game. They do want to do their best to probably add as many original Budokai Tenkaichi 3 characters as possible, and knowing that, it's why I also believe that characters like Chi-Chi, again, mostly Kid Chi-Chi, Arale, and obviously, you know, the Pilaf machine will most likely make into the game. Tambourine as well, because they were all already playable in BT3. So it really just be a case of like, hey, just do that again, you know. OG Great Ape isn't even in the game either, so he has also a really good chance of getting in, because again, Kid Goku being able to turn into a Great Ape was a very cool feature, or just having a natural, normal Great Ape in the game, like a normal naked Great Ape. It was really fun, especially for versus battles, to just put a random Great Ape against like any character in the game. Now, I'm going to keep talks about Great Apes to a minimum because I don't want people to think that the 30 new characters are just every single Saiyan that can turn into a Great Ape having a Great Ape form. Because while that was a thing in Tenkaichi 3, I don't think Sparking Zero is going to do that, especially because Giants are so bad in Tenkaichi, well, in Tenkaichi 4 and Sparking Zero. Giants are kind of really unplayable now, unless if they buff them with Super Limit Breaking Neo, but Giants are so bad. Cell Max is unironically worse than like Raccoon. He has less defense than Raccoon, like Jesus Christ. It's so scary how bad Giants are in Sparking Zero right now. So I don't want to entertain the idea that the remaining characters are just all Giants. But it seems like they are just going to add BT3 original characters. So again, Arale has a really good chance of getting in because she made the reappearance in Dragon Ball Super and have a bunch of new moves like a planet cracking punch, any around the world like a knockback. Like when you hit her, she goes around the world and hits you back. There's so many new moves that they can add to Arale. So she has a really high chance of getting in. Cyborg Tao, like obviously because Tao Pai Pai is already super popular. So just having and by the way, Cyborg Tao, he's still alive in Dragon Ball Online, and since Xenoverse 3 is coming out, Cyborg Tao is probably gonna get extra clout just because he's gonna be in Xenoverse 3, most likely, so he can show up again in this game. That's so stupid. I didn't even remember that. If they do Chi-Chi, I would like for them to do adult Chi-Chi. She would probably just have a bigger moveset, but Kid Chi-Chi does have like the laser on top of her like helmet, and then she also has the sword on top of her helmet. She already has a fully defined moveset, but as an adult, Chi-Chi should like know some key techniques or some family techniques. I don't know, man. You could have her do an ultimate where maybe like Gohan shows up and just does an attack for her instead, and then she scolds him and he flies away or something. I don't know, man. There's a lot to talk about in general when it comes to the character arcs of Sparking Zero, because there are so many picks that you would want as a fan, but then there are really obvious picks, like super popular characters. But then there are other picks that could be based on themes, such as themes and such, oh my god. There are other picks that could be based on the themes, such as them obviously picking characters like original Budokai Tenkaichi 3 characters to make a reappearance. A good example is, hey, Supreme Kai is there, so are we also going to get Supreme Kai's fusion modes, Kibito Kai? Who knows? There's a very high chance of that happening, because look how many original BT3 characters are making a return. So again, I do want to remind you guys, it's 30 plus new characters, not 30 new characters. It's not only 3 character slots are going to get added, it's more than 3. Or obviously it's not up to 40, otherwise they would have just put like 40 characters right there, right? They put 30 plus, so it's not going to be up to 40 characters, but we will get at least like 10 characters that they haven't shown here reappearing in probably the newest Super Limit Breaking Neo trailer, whenever they decide to show that. And there's a lot of character suggestion content here, but if I'm going to be completely honest, I think all of this stuff, well, not all of it, I think most of this stuff has a good chance of just being DLC instead. I really think a great example of this would be stuff like Garlic Jr. having a base form and Cooler having, well, Metal Cooler having another transformation. While it would be messed up to make Garlic Jr.'s base form DLC, I don't think Garlic Jr.'s base form is realistically going to make it into like the roster for the Super Limit Breaking Neo. If he ever gets a base form added to him, it'll probably be future DLC. 21 is the most easy DLC to do because 21 is so popular. She is an NPC character in Kakarot and a playable DLC character in Xenoverse 2, as well as being 2 separate characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ. 21 is so unbelievably popular, I have a feeling that it's kind of guaranteed she makes it into the game, especially because we got Shallot in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, so if 21 doesn't make it, that would honestly be really hard to believe. And realistically, Sparking Zero should do her transformation, but they haven't even done Shallot's transformations yet, and we don't know if they're still going to add them to Super Limit Breaking Neo, even though Shallot has access to every single Super Saiyan form, including up to Blue. So, I really want to say 21 is probably going to get a transformation, but most likely they'll just either do her base form like with Shallot, or they'll just do her super popular Margin form and then not include her base form, or the other transformation she has as a Margin character. And again, I don't think this is coming with Super Limit Breaking Neo. I just wanted to establish that these will most likely be a DLC thing, because Super Limit Breaking Neo is basically the equivalent of Budokai Tenkaichi 1 to Budokai Tenkaichi 2. It's been a 2-year gap. This is when they would realistically just make another Tenkaichi game, but because we live in a modern era, they're just going to make an expansion pack rather than a whole new game, because that just makes sense. We live in a modern era. They just make expansion packs now. Obviously, this does include my feelings on Gohan Black. Gohan Black realistically should be free DLC because, bro, the character's literally already in the game, so I don't know why we'd even have to pay for him, but I would like him to be free DLC. He'll probably end up being in the actual Super Limit Breaking Neo character roster, and if he doesn't, then, man, it's gonna suck because they'll probably make him paid DLC. That's if they even remember to make him playable. Gohan Black obviously has his own unique take on the way Fused Zamasu looks, so he's a really weird character to add into the game, but again, he most likely should just be free DLC, or he should just come with the rest of the characters in Super Limit Breaking Neo, because Why not? There are a bunch of characters in Super Limit Breaking Neo that don't even make sense to be there. Considering if we have SJ4 Vegeta, why are we now paying money to play his base form and his Super Saiyan form when we already have his final form? That's so weird, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And again, a lot of these are future DLC suggestion ideas. I do not know how all of these would work because again, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken is already a power-up for Goku as well as Evolution Blue, so I don't see them making them separate character slots when you already technically have access to them in the form of a buff. And Vados would be cool to add because we're getting Champa, so you know that kind of, we got Beerus, so that means we got Whis. Getting Vados with Champa would also make sense, but with Vados they would basically have to borrow her entire moveset from Xenoverse 2, since Xenoverse 2 made a whole moveset for her really early in the game's life cycle too. Again, hats off to Xenoverse 2 because that's an insane thing to do, making a whole moveset for a character that never attacked once. But yeah, these are all most likely DLC suggestions, and I don't want to tackle them all in this video because there's so much to talk about when it comes to Super Limit Breaking Neo's DLC, so I think that's a solid place to end the video, lads. Again, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed the video, then obviously again, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below about the DLC characters, because again, there are so many goddamn characters that you can add to this game, whether it be coming with the original Super Limit Breaking Neo pass, or free DLC that comes out alongside the Super Limit Breaking Neo update, or future DLC that comes out after Super Limit Breaking Neo with a new DLC pass and everything. There's just so much that goes into this, but for now I think that's a solid place to end the video. Again, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe as it greatly supports the channel. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do love you all, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace. Bye bye.